Tonight, from Ford Field in Detroit, it's time for Monday Night Football on EA Sports. It's the Detroit Lions taking on the Baltimore Ravens.
The seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Tonight, we wrap up Week 3 with a good Monday nighter here between the Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. It's been a great start to the season. Back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to Week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. Here comes the Ravens on offense, and the man in charge from Louisville, the former MVP, Lamar Jackson.
And frankly, this is the type of game that a great quarterback relishes, because 0-2 on the road, everything's against him and his team. No one can expect them to win. Sometimes you band together real tight in that situation, and if he plays really well, they've got a chance to get that done.
And the drive starts with a carry by Stevenson. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. And the rushing numbers for Stevenson from last week: 15 carries, 88 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that, but they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more. Later in the game.
10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
breakaway this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on first and second down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Jackson now. And his throw is incomplete.
Anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Jackson.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Jeremy Chin picks it off, and the Lions are going to take over at their own 41.
Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. We know this guy is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
A carry by Taylor to start the drive.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. The numbers for him from a week ago. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
And they'll hold him to 3 there as he takes this up to the 47. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The heavy set out there. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. Running straight ahead, Taylor. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. The Lions at 2-0 here to begin the season, and they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
That throw taken in by Jameson Williams.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the 1st quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
Brandon, there was more in his mind there than just getting to the first down marker. Saw an opportunity to get a big play and was going to let the defense do a lot to stop him from getting there.
First and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. Back to throw. Herron, and that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. John Bates, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Lions use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Michael Badgley on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and the Lions lead 7-0. That time a 6-play drive, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Patrick Queen got in there to stick him. He gets the sack.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Jackson. It's complete. It's Gore. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive. Come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to two people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
Stevenson now on 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Now this defense for the Lions, very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win. This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. And the defense coming through on 3rd down. A loss of 7 to bring up 4th. They were trying to set up that screen, trying to get that screen to formulate. Took too long.
He ends up taking a sack, and that leads you to a couple of other questions. Number one, why don't you just get rid of the football near the screen guy so that you don't take an interception? But really the big one, they just took everything away, and he was really kind of flummoxed on that play and ended up taking the sack.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. Just a net of 34 there following a punt of 44 yards. And the Lions will take over.
Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive.
This could end up being a pretty big drive. I mean, look, yes, it's early in this game, but they scored the touchdown. They got the stop. And now if they could get in the end zone here again, CD, they could grab an early stranglehold on this one.
Yeah, they certainly can, and that's what you're looking for. Where's the advantage? Can you gain it? Can you press it? Now for them, finishing it off, because right now it's out there for them. They just got to go seize it. And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I have not yet met a running back that's run for over 200 yards that says the very next week, hey, let's back things up.
Yeah, I don't need it as much.
No, they want it more and more. They're going to be ready to go because they think that's going to happen naturally now.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That one goes for 30 yards.
That's a great job of working the sideline right there. I love how he tracked the football the whole way. Just reached up and pulled it in. Had excellent field presence to understand where he was in order to make that play happen.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Looking to throw. Herron. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. The sack there by Roquan Smith.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Now this one complete on the slant route.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Badgley able to punch this one through, and that will extend their lead even further.
So another scoring drive there, Charles, and an early 2-score lead.
You'd like the 6 there, partner, but you'll take the 3, and I think they have to be happy about the way they moved the ball in these first 2 drives. They have to feel good about their opportunities the rest of the game.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Taken at the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field.
Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 21.
They'll start with the option.
And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in second and long yardage.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Up the middle, here's Stevenson.
And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13.
And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this one complete to Smith. And he'll be stopped short of the first down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
I think that we all figured when he caught it that short of the marker that the defense almost relaxed and said, we got this covered. And then all of a sudden, space to run after the catch. And now they're screaming, somebody get him down. Fortunately, they got to him and forced the 4th down.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. This is fielded at the 27. Touchdown, Detroit. He returns that punt 73 yards.
And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
When you got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they mishit the ball and kick it right to him.
Badgley on for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're
you
down.
Don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
Straight ahead, it's Stevenson.
And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Josh Allen collapses the pocket and drops him for a loss of 3.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Steps away to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
And this will be taken at the 13. Nice work on the return as he gets about 15 yards back. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here are the Lions to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Herron. Right side to Williams. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. On the counter, it's Taylor. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down.
This one completes Alec Pierce.
And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 25-yard line. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Throwing on 1st down. Herron.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Ravens are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
1:53 remaining in this first half of play. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
And he goes out right around the 39. The result, only 4 yards there.
I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play. So that challenge, a successful one.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Now they got to get to the line quickly. He's got Smith here. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. But forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. Throw left side complete. That's Stevenson. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Coming up on 2nd and 7.
To throw again is Jackson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down.
On the draw is Stevenson.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. Tucker's kick is good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Here comes Jonathan Taylor and his teammates.
He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Back to throw. Herron. He's airing it out for Williams. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
A very limited time left to get into field goal range before the half, and they tried to get it all on one throw right there.
They tried the throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Operating from the gun, Herron.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big 3rd down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
The Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number one. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. Again, he'll drop to throw.
And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
That's a really nice job there by the coverage, understanding that they're in a high-stakes situation. If he doesn't make a play on that ball, there's an excellent chance it ends up either as a touchdown or as a nice gain downfield.
Steps away. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the 1st down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
On 3rd and 2, Herron. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack.
And the Ravens are going to take over at their own 2-yard line.
Partner, there's no other way you could describe it because that was absolutely just gut-wrenching for that offense. They were right on the precipice. Points were available. All they had to do was just fall forward, and they were going to put them up on the board. Instead, a long drive ends in heartbreak and a melancholy trip back to the drawing board. I like it when I go a little bit lyrical for you.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And from here, might not be able to take a knee. Might need to run a play here that's close to their goal line. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we've reached halftime. But no break needed. Let's get back to it. Week 3, here we go. With quarter 3. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. Phillips now from the end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. And the Lions getting set to go on offense to start the third. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
To throw on third down, Herron. He's got this, complete to Williams. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 23. A big gain of 28 as the drive continues.
That's another beautiful throw right there. Gets it to his man right in stride. And I think that throw kind of exemplifies what we've seen from this offense throughout this game. They've been in rhythm. They've been...
And in for the Lions touchdown. Cole Kmet, his second touchdown on the season. And the Lions take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 21. And they'll run the option to start the drive. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
2nd and 10. On the handoff, Stevenson. And only a couple there up to about the 23-yard line. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Pulled in at the 24. So holding there on the return, and that'll back them up to start the next drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there, partner. I think when the officials look in their manual and see the expression jersey getting pulled, that's a flag coming out every time.
The holding penalty and negates a good return as they'll start just past the 20. On 1st and 10, Herron being chased out left. Now he'll square up and throw deep left sideline. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against them offensively. Third quarter on a Monday night with a 2nd and 10 coming up. The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On first down, Herron over the middle, and that's caught by Kmet. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Up the middle, here's Taylor. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Rolling to his right. He's airing it out for Williams. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens 19. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And the Lions are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
And sometimes when you run a screen pass down in the red zone, it's really tough to create a lot of room to operate. The field's pretty condensed, but that was really well designed there, and they're able to pick up the 1st down.
So they'll get nothing out of that play, and that'll set up 2nd and goal.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Touchdown! Jamison Williams from 6 yards away. And the Lions will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. What a great drive that was. A long drive, sustained, well executed.
I love what we're seeing out of him here in year 2, right? This young quarterback continues to evolve and grow. He's really the adage right now that John Wooden, the famous basketball coach, used to say. Be quick, but don't hurry. You can see that everything is happening for him, but he's not taking it at a pace that he can't sustain.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out?
maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
That's going to do it. Clock hits zeros. They're not going to get another playoff. Time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Ravens on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Out of the gun, they give it to Stevenson.
And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one, and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
You've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing is ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
1st and 10, Taylor now. And he's got it down to the 28.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Herron.
That pass caught. It's Williams. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people are thinking about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Flush to his right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
Like the footwork back there. I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Looking to throw. Herron. And this is caught. And in for the Lions touchdown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
34 yards.
And the Lions are closing in on a 3rd straight victory to start the campaign. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25.
And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their third straight defeat.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Jackson's throw complete there to Smith.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you...
That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. And the Lions will take over possession here up at the 44. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down. Back to throw. Herron. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Throw right side, complete to Williams. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Well, that's one way to convert on third down, picking up 26 yards.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. But one thing we both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
Back to throw again. That escapes the sack. Finding Williams once more, complete.
And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just kind of give us that look like that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I want him out. They tend to leave him in.
They'll get 13 yards for the second play in a row. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. Up the middle they go. It's Burns. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. From the 2 now, second and goal.
They'll try again. And I don't think he got in. He did not. They mark him short of the goal line.
They're held again, and do we have a goal line stand brewing? It's third and goal. They'll look to throw on third and goal. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble and bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Now Jackson on 1st down. And here is a leaping catch. He pulled it in. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Meanwhile, Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Forced out to his, and somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
Well, that was all Lamar Jackson all the time on that drive, both through the air and in the end with the touchdown run.
Yeah, how about him doing things a little bit on the reverse side there, Brandon, because he softened him up throwing the football and opened up the running lanes. And when he gets a little bit of a sliver, he's gone. And that's exactly what he did there.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Phillips now from the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Jamison Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting him, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Sliding out of the pocket. He's airing it out for Williams. And this will be caught at the 30. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Now it's looking incredibly likely to be a 3-0 start to this season. That is obviously excellent. 2-0 is one thing. 3-0, you really have some momentum.
And now they're serving notice to the rest of the league that they're a pretty darn good football team. Confident, aggressive, attacking at all times. This looks like a team that you're going to have to deal with. And guess what? Behind closed doors, they're trying to figure out ways to get better.
is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he returns this to the 22.
Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession.
Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now it's Jackson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. They'll drop to throw. This is Smith with a grab. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson.
Goes right back to Smith again.
And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Following the fumble recovery, Herron, he'll buy some time right. Williams brings it in. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes, because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door. Maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
We'll
see if they go back to base.
Well, this was a blowout supported by both sides of the ball today, Charles. It would be easy to look at the offense and say, man, they were clicking, and they were, but don't forget about the effort by this defense as well.
Yeah, they weren't going to let up just because the lead was safe. They wanted to play as big a part in this game as their offense did in making this blowout. They needed to be noticed as well, and they played accordingly.
So for the Lions, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, the early struggles continue as they'll